Hello, everyone. I'm David Morgan,
And I'm Darai Nyabanda.
and this is our final project. It is called Last Few Cards or Trading Cards. It's a web app that helps set collectors of sports cards or non-sports cards piece together their sets over time. We'll start by looking at the code. We set the database up to allow brands, cards, and sports, and that the card sets then take attributes from all of those. And of course, we implemented Spring Security. To go along with the controller for the card set are a number of GSP views based on what the user is searching for.
So as David mentioned, most of the functionality in our code resides in the card set controller. So looking at our test cases, in addition to the regular domain unit tests, which can be found in the test folder. So in addition to the regular unit tests that we did for each domain, which cover basic functionality, including testing for a valid object, confirming that our constraints are working. We also did tests for the new methods that we added to our card set controller. We also implemented functional tests with the purpose of confirming that our login functionality on our controllers was working correctly. And for any controllers that were accessible to users without authentication, they were able to view the page. We tried to implement an integration test, which would test the service specifically because it references and makes a call to the database. But I will mention the difficulties that we came across.
So let's go in and take a look at the web app itself. Titled Last Few Cards, built it on a Twitter Bootstrap for the UI. So it has the complete modular view of Bootstrap and mobile friendly. We'll log in real quick, and anyone wants to try it out, the username and password is right in the center screen here. None of this information's in our Bootstrap. We built a SQL database on AWS, so all of the data is contained in the cloud. We'll log out real quick and show you the menu. We have Spring Security set up that the views are a little different whether you're logged in or logged out. So if you're not logged in, you get the how to join. And if you are logged in, that menu item changes to your specific account data. Any user, though, logged in or logged out, can look at current sets, try to figure out which set is available. They can search by brand, year, or sport. And it's all dynamically generated, so if we added another card set that would say 1999, that would now show up here automatically. But if we search by any of those criteria and we get into the actual set, we'll see an aggregated view of all users collecting those cards. So each little gray box there is a specific div that goes out and accumulates all of the users looking for all of the cards, and the number in white there is the aggregate number. That is a similar view to the My Account, where each user then gets a similar color-coded box, and this is their view of how many cards they have available to trade, how many they need, and then the gray boxes are neither. And this is fully dynamic JavaScript. Depending on how many numbers of cards are in that set, will generate the correct number of divs, and then each div has the up-down buttons, which will allow the user to adjust how many cards they have extra or how many cards they need to complete their sets. So we'll talk real quick about the challenges we faced.
As I had mentioned earlier, one of the issues that we came across was implementing an integration test that would call our controller, which then calls the service, which makes a database call to retrieve information that was required. So we encountered the problem where we were able to get a call to the controller and to pass it on to the service, but getting a proper data source instantiated for testing proved to be difficult. And this was one of the issues that I was grappling with as we approached deadline, and I was not able to figure it out in time.
And one of the major problems that I encountered was the front-end ability to save using Ajax or jQuery. Everything that I found online to walk through a complicated process like this was deprecated out of Grails 3, just like we learned in class. But because of the complexity of all the different divs tracking each individual card, just wasn't able to get the Ajax and jQuery working by the due date. However, there were a number of pretty big obstacles that I think we overcame. One of them on The front end side was the solution to iterate over a card set and produce the correct number of divs based on the number of cards in that set. Some of the script had to go inside of the GSP by nature of how the script worked, but the rest of the script was in the application.js, and it ended up being a little bit easier than what I had originally thought. Dairai, anything on your side?
It was really eye-opening working on this project, particularly working on the tests. I was able to, coming into this course, I was not a fan of testing and didn't have that much background in testing. And through this project and working with David, I gained quite a lot of knowledge just looking at the code from the front end, some of the code he implemented, especially the complex JavaScript code.
So that's our project, and we're happy to take any questions.